Hey guys, today I'd like to take a look at what I think is a very fun mask, and certainly one that is kind of well known in the hobby. Not necessarily super rare, but I think it's interesting, and that is the 1978 Be Something Studios Gorilla. Now this one is a mask that was produced for a very long time at Be Something Studios, and I'll show you some of those catalog photos in just a bit. Many of you may remember that I've done videos on a couple of apes, gorillas in the past. Both of those videos were on masks that represented the King Kong character. The first one you may remember was the video I did on the Trick or Treat Studios version of King Kong from the original movie, and I also did one on the Be Something Studios Kong mask from the Peter Jackson remake. Now this one comes from Be Something Studios, and this one, unlike those, this one doesn't represent a specific character. It's just basically a generic gorilla, and Be Something Studios has produced a number of different gorilla masks over the years. This one is sort of what I would term sort of a gorilla suit style gorilla. It's kind of just a simple, not necessarily perfectly realistic or anatomically correct gorilla. It's very much like some of the gorilla masks you would see that were worn with a gorilla suit. And in fact, Be Something Studios did offer a gorilla suit in their lineup. And so let me show you a quick picture of that gorilla suit here. This gorilla suit is from the 1987 catalog. And I don't know if they offered different ones over the years, but that's an example. And so this mask is, as I said, I consider it a 1978 mask. It may be a year or two later, but let me show you a couple of pictures here of the interior of this mask. I'm not going to take it off this mask stand, but here you can see the inside of the mask, and in the latex, typically, as are in many Be Something Studios masks, you can see Bye Bye, which is by Bill Yeastrom, who is the sculptor of the mask, and Be Something Studios. And then the tag attached here is the very early Be Something Studios tag, and that states 1978 as the date on the tag. And as I said, it's hard to be 100% confident in the date based on a tag in any mask, really, especially vintage masks. They many times they use the same tag for a number of years inside, regardless of when it was actually produced. But I'm going to call this one a 1978. And so this design, as I said, was available for many years, and you can spot this design. I spot this design because it's kind of hard in some of the catalog photos that you'll see to really see a lot of the sculptural detail in the photo, but this tooth configuration is pretty unique and something that really stands out. So you can see that tooth configuration with the two teeth here, and a gap, and one tooth and a gap and another tooth. And if you look for that in the catalogs, you can really see that it's the same sculpt. Now I want to show you a photo here of one of these masks, and this one is with the tag. So you can see it was known as the 25/9 gorilla, simply the word gorilla, and that's what it's called in the catalogs. So let me go through a couple of the catalogs here. You can see a 1980 catalog. We'll go through them. Here's an 81, an 83, an 88, a 1991, and a 2001. And these are from Pete's great website, his archive of mask ads at the Devil's Workshop. Thank you, Pete. And what you can see is that basically this thing was offered for many years, and just in that span alone, that represents 20 years basically of this same mask being offered by Be Something Studios. And so it is fairly common. It's just You know, as I said, it's just a sort of a generic gorilla character. Now, I do like the sculpt on this. It's not bad. It's kind of very classic looking. The paint job is nice. It's a basic paint job, obviously, on the black, but the teeth are done really well. There's some pink and red inside the mouth, and the teeth are sort of yellowed and dirty around the bottom. They spent a little bit of time painting those teeth, and they did a good job on that. And the hood is typical basic sheep fur that's trimmed around and glued on. The mask, as are many Be Something Studios mask, is sort of a 3/4 mask, and then the hood makes up the rest of the mask. And it is slid up the back, the hood is. So this sheep fur hood is slid up the back. And what's kind of nice to me as a gorilla character is that the way that this hood is sewn, it sort of creates this crest at the top, which sort of mimics the sagittal crest that an ape would have, where the jaw muscles attach. And I think that kind of adds to the overall skull shape of this. Even though it's a fur hood, it kind of mimics that shape. Not that you'd be trying to be particularly realistic while wearing this mask. Again, it is a typical gorilla suit style gorilla, but I think it's neat, and it's nice to have in your collection if you can find one. Now, Be Something Studios, as I mentioned, offered quite a few different style gorillas. I'll just show you another example here of one offered during sort of the same time period, not quite as early, but here's a catalog photo showing the Bushman gorilla. This is a 1988 catalog, and then here's a photo. I believe this was on eBay. I don't remember where I got the photo, but it's showing that actual mask, and you can see that's sort of more of a ferocious looking gorilla face with the exposed teeth and the sort of angry look on it. But it is an example of another gorilla mask that Be Something offered at that time. So yeah, there's not a whole lot more to say about it. I mean, it's pretty pretty common mask, and it's just nice to have in your collection. I would recommend picking one up if you see one for sale. It's fairly well made, and it is available all the way back to the 70s. So that is the 1978 Be Something Studios gorilla. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.